All right, time for the week that was with Melanie Wilkinson. Melanie, how are we doing today?
Good morning. Great.
Good.
Really good.
What's been going on with you lately?
Well, it's that time of year. Got to plant some things.
Yeah.
Got my garden in. Do you do anything like that?
So my parents, or my dad's my dad has, I don't know the exact acreage, but he's got a big garden. It's in the town of Alliance, too, out in western Nebraska.
Sure.
But he has maybe a half acre of
that's a lot.
Tomato plants is his big thing. He will cycle through probably 500 to maybe 1,000 tomatoes.
What does he do with them all?
Gives them away to people.
Oh my gosh!
They have some local farmers markets around there that he'll give those to. So growing up, I was really into the gardening thing, and I'd help my dad out during the summers. And then since I kind of moved away, I don't know. I just kind of went away from it.
Or did you get burned out?
A little bit.
Does he sell anything, or does he just
sell it? I don't know if he. No, I don't
gives
think
it all away.
Gives it away to
what a nice
friends,
guy,
neighbors, family members. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Stuff. So
that's a lot.
And he eats a ton to make some salsa out of it. So
cans, I would assume, but you can only eat so much.
Everything from the salsa to the pickled green tomatoes,
Mr.
to cherry
Tomato.
tomatoes, to
Well, that's fantastic. I don't have an operation quite that large.
No. But it is gardening season for people.
It
out
is.
there,
so that's cool.
That's happening.
So So speaking of growing, did you see that little segue?
Transition.
Thank you. Yeah. So we have another school bond issue. Kind of seems to be the times right now, doesn't it?
Yeah, last year with Yorks, right?
Right, and then Heartland did one just right before Yorks. So it must be that all these schools were probably built, about the same time. So we're going to go through that cycle again where the renovations and expansions and changes with the way that education is now that will, take us through the next probably another 40 years or so.
Some of the schools need updated, right? Because the world is changing and technology changes.
Well, and then we have consolidations and we have that type of thing. So I guess the schools are probably getting larger because there's fewer. So anyway, the next one up is Centennial. Yep. They are going to have an all-mail in bond issue, meaning that you will receive, you're going to receive your ballot if you're in the Centennial School District.
Yes.
And a registered voter on or about May 19th. Now, those ballots have to be back in to your county clerk's office by 5 o'clock on June 10th. And I say your county clerk because Centennial, that school district's footprint reaches out into 4 different counties. Mm-hmm. So you'll have to get it to your clerk. The clerk will count the ballots for that jurisdiction. And then, of course, then the totals will be taken. And so from what I understand,
that'd be like Saline. No, not Saline. It would be obviously York and Seward. Fillmore.
Yes. And
probably would be Saline. I'm
Butler.
guessing. Butler counties. Yeah. You're right.
So, and granted, most of it will be in Seward County.
Yeah.
But there are quite a few property owners and people that have that live in that footprint. So, it's different than like let's say York School District is basically almost all in York. Maybe for I think there might be a few that go off into Hamilton County, but so there'll be all those different things in play. It kind of sounds familiar a little bit to what a lot of the schools are doing. Now, the bond issue that Centennial organizers are seeking is $7.9 million. It's for renovations to the school, the classrooms. They're going to they want to build a new bus barn on site. I'm not familiar with what their busing situation is now, but from what I've looked at, it appears that they have buses that are being housed all in different places. This will put them all in one location, all under one roof.
Makes it more convenient that
Makes
way, I'm
sense.
sure.
And I suppose, too, then they'll be out of the elements, most of the time, except for when they're out on the route. They're also looking to do a new kitchen and cafeteria area, just like York Elementary is going to be doing. A brand new gym, and it looks like that's going to also include a lot of different areas for different kinds of athletic classes and offerings.
I do know Centennial has a pretty new basketball, volleyball gym. Now, I'm curious if this would be kind of a different one or if they'd do some updates to what they currently have there.
I think this is going to be brand new and additional.
Gotcha.
Is what it looks like. And again, there's going to be informational meetings from until the special election day. People will have opportunities to go to town hall meetings, and then they will be doing some tours. It looks like, and all of those times, dates, and locations are all on the website. You can just take a look, and it's also on the Centennials bond issue on their website.
Yep. So be on the lookout for that over the next few days, and if you are in that area and able to vote on this, do that.
And you don't have to wait until that election day.
Right. June 10th.
You just have to. You might receive it on the 19th, and you can stick it back in the mail on the 20th if you'd like to.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. And then moving here to something in the city of York, an unfortunate story, seeing some vandalism on some art and murals here around the county.
Shame.
Yeah. What's this about?
Well, and it comes only. I don't even think it's even been a year since the Creative District Committee commissioned an artist from Colorado to come here and do that downtown mural. It's on the east side of the North printing and office supply building, and
looks cool. I mean, it just brightens up the building.
It is, and it's part of
this gives the community some personality. A little bit.
It does, and it's just, and there'll be more murals.
Yeah.
Well, I hope this doesn't discourage anybody. So anyway, this vandalism popped up. Looks like it might have been Thursday morning, and it's kind of confusing. I tried to do a little research into what it means. Apparently, it's some sort of slang / slur attached to a term given to a prison inmate who was not born in the United States.
Okay.
I don't. And the person, it's just, it's very specific as to what they're getting at. Of course, it didn't really do them much good because nobody knew what it meant. And I had to do some digging to try to figure it out. And I might even be wrong. I don't know. Although I think I'm right. Because the same kind of language showed up down at Foster Park as well. Now, when I went to look at that one, it was already had been taken care of. But the thing is that it's just so discouraging and frustrating. And, the mayor had said he's just so disappointed in it because people put a lot of effort into this and they were excited about it. And he was being nice when he said, well, we want to find the people or person who did this so they can get the help that they need. Yeah. Well, Crime Stoppers is also offering a reward now for information that will lead to the arrest of the person or people that are responsible for it. If you have information, you can stay anonymous and you just have to call 362-2999 and leave your information. And then if your information leads to an arrest, they'll let you know, and you can maybe get a little.
Give them a coloring book in. In
I just, and this I remember. Oh, it was quite a few years ago, when some kids painted some marijuana leaves and some weird stuff all over the inside of the Family Aquatic Center.
Yeah.
And all over the brand new, very expensive restroom concession building out at Miller Park. And it cost a lot of money to fix all of this. In the end, those kids didn't even know what the words were that they were even doing. It was just something stupid. This one seems to have a little bit more
intent,
and they want to get attention about something. Right. I don't know. But it's unfortunate. I'm sure they'll clean it up. But it is the way they did it. It is frustrating. But
and as you said, you would hope it doesn't turn into this, but it could discourage future things going up, future murals,
Well,
future art going up in this town.
You know,
and hopefully it doesn't get to that. But, it's not a good look.
No, it's not. But
on top of that, you don't even know what it says, and it's just ugly.
I had to stand there and stare at it for the longest time, and then I had to go Google it, and then I thought, oh, well, this is consistent, and it's dumb. So there you go. I don't know.
Well, anyway, hopefully they get that figured out.
I agree.
And find the person who did that. And then, there's another kind of an unfortunate thing going on here in York County. There's been this pile. Is this a controlled burn, or what started as a controlled burn?
No.
Or what? Okay, this is not a controlled burn fire. This is just a pile in York County that's been burning, 40 days?
Well, as of this morning, 42.
42.
Okay, so I met with Linnea Williamson, and she lives just south of this place. So you know what a silage pile is?
Yes, yep.
Okay, so it's the same theory, except for this is made with corn shucks. Yep. And it's huge. So you know the size of a silage pile. They're massive, and this is very, very large. It sits on a property, and it's on a road. Road M and 19, I believe. And
about how far would that be?
Okay,
that's north here of.
It's just 1 mile west of Highway 81. So from York. Take Highway 81 north 3 miles and then 1 mile west.
Okay.
There's no house or like residence on this corner. It's just this operation that's owned by people that don't live here. They're not even in York County. Anyway, so the way I understand this, it was back in February when it had spontaneous combustion inside of it, which does happen sometimes. You have all this product and it burns, it creates its natural heat and
science and chemicals kick in with some of this stuff.
And so the local fire departments went out. It looked like it was out, but then you go further into March, start that 42-day clock. It reignited. And it took a lot of departments and a lot of mutual aid. And this has all been explained to me by Linnea, who also had the documentation on all of this. And it was just realized that this pile has to be dealt with. Like you can't just spray water on this thing and put it out. Well, nothing's they got the flames knocked down at that time. And the owners were told, you need to, it looks like the whole thing has to be pulled apart and buried. I know that it sounds easier said than done, obviously. And
until you look at the pictures of this thing.
But the problem is that it's still burning.
Yeah, too.
And there's been nights where I was there during the day and I was told I was there on a good morning. And I was only there 15 minutes and I already had a headache and I wasn't even standing in the smoke. But the smoke is going into like the neighbors, like in the neighbors' houses. They're worried about their cattle. It is really toxic and it is really bad. And I've actually talked to people too who have said, oh, that's what we've been smelling for the last month, living over, in different areas of York or even down at Lockridge Acres. So. And it is really awful. Well, Linnea's just had enough. They're the closest ones to it. She's called the Department of Environment and Energy. She's asked, the sheriff's department, all the fire departments, the county commissioners, the county attorney's office, fire marshal's office. She called Governor Pillen's office 3 times after he issued the burning ban statewide, just saying, hey, can somebody help us? She's gone to state senator. And nobody seems to have the jurisdiction to actually have any authority on to take this over. It comes down to the landowners. Well, the thing is, though, you can't, some have said, we'll just go to court over it and there's just no time for this kind of thing. And the reason I even brought it up was that we were hoping that maybe this would get some attention and someone would know a way to make this happen or to even help the owners. Maybe they just don't. Maybe they're just incapable of handling it. Which if they would just say it, maybe they could get some help. I don't know what agencies could help them. But I just thought it was a worthwhile story to do, and also one to talk about, because it really is a problem for the people that live out there.
Yeah.
And they do really have big concerns. Also, I hadn't thought of this, but there's a creek that runs down. It's on the Williamsons' properties. That runs along the south side. Well, they've been pouring all this water on these fires when they go out there. Well, all that dirty water naturally runs down, and so the Williamsons themselves have had to put up like crushed concrete and things to try to stop the water, and it hasn't gotten into the creek. But it really is an environmental problem. So I don't know. That was one of the big stories of the week. I don't know.
Well,
last thing I looked, I think it looks like 8,200 people have read that story from my last analytics. So hopefully something will get done. And I think that, and it needs to be said too, that local officials are concerned about it. The county commissioners have been out there. The sheriff's department's been out there. The fire departments have been out there. People really do want to do something. It's just that everybody feels like their hands are tied.
Yeah. Yeah.
So hopefully some official, whether it be through the Department of Energy Environment or fire marshal's office or somebody at a higher level, even the governor's office, will come up with a plan of some sort.
Because it's a health concern.
It is big time.
It sounds really bad. You talked to Linnea, is that
Linnea? Yeah.
Linnea, and she mentions her house reeks, the inside of her house, which is just, could you imagine just having to put up with that?
And they get sick.
Yeah.
So they're sick from being in this environment. So when you're sick, what do? You don't want to go to work because you're sick, but you can't stay home because being home is what's making you sick. Ugh. Yeah, it's a problem.
And
and it's calving season. And so they have baby calves out there, and a lot of people do. So it's just something that's going on. But I just thought we should talk about it. Any more awareness that can be done, hopefully we'll get them some help. As of this morning, I haven't heard that anything monumental has taken place. But I think now that enough people are aware of it, it was the first I had heard of it was when she came to the county board. And then I saw her a few days later at the sheriff's department, because the flames had actually reignited and jumped over the road and got into their property too. So,
yuck.
Yep. Glad it's not me, but
Exactly.
I feel for them.
Exactly. And hopefully that situation can get resolved here pretty soon. So Melanie Wilkinson in with us today. Melanie, finally want to chat about, a couple weeks ago we talked about the YPS and their new ag center that they're fundraising for.
Yes.
And there's a recent story that you put out about some hogs that they have in there, right?
Heaven. Yeah. Oh, it's so fun. Now, I get all excited about this. I grew up a 4-H kid and showed animals and stuff, and so I love it. They have hogs out there, quite a few of them, and these are all going to be show hogs. They're going to be trained and shown at the York County Fair, and some of them are the products of students at York High School doing artificial insemination and delivering them when they were born. So some of them
through the whole process.
Yes, literally conception on. And then there are some in there that kids have purchased from local breeders, but a good majority of the pigs that are out there are their own. Like, they pulled them out and everything. So they're out there feeding them. They're using one of the buildings. The renovations haven't even started.
Right. Still
but
the
they are already
in
love with the site, because instead of having to train, okay, so if you've ever trained a show animal, you're saying no.
Yeah, that was not.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
you have to walk these things at least twice a day, every day for months and months and months, until they're trained like a dog, right? So this is great because they don't have to. They used to have to walk the pigs in the school parking lot on the hot cement, And now they can take them outside, hose them down, then take them over to this nice, beautiful grassy area where everyone's treated like a king.
Yeah.
And it's just great.
That's
and
good.
And it's so cool because there's these kids go there, every morning before school. They go there every night after school. They go there in the evenings. They're there on the weekends. Their families come with them. So we're already seeing this. Oh, and there's 2 breeding goats out there too. Olivia Linhart, she's the owner of those. And I said, well, is this one pregnant? Because she was rather voluptuous. And she said, no, she's just working on her summer beach body. She's been lounging a little too much. And they're going to have a baby dairy bucket calf is going to be showing up here shortly. So it's just exciting. It's the first sign of life in this new location.
Yeah.
And of course, donations are still needed. They're not quite to the 2 million mark, but I think they're making some pretty good headway from what it sounds like. Yeah. But when you just see what has already happened and they haven't done anything yet except put in some pens and some bedding, and it's already wonderful. It just shows what a great project this is.
Oh, yeah. And you could tell a lot of people are very excited about the people involved with this, as you were talking about, who have these, the pigs, the people at the York Public Schools.
Yeah.
It's going to further the agriculture in this community, which is a big part of it.
Right. And when you hear people say, well, kids these days, well, no, these kids, they're learning like life skills and responsibility, and they're amazing. And plus it's I don't know. It's cute.
Yeah. The pigs are
that
cute.
That pig photo with the sunset. Oh, who knew
That's
a pig
the title photo on your
who knew
website.
that a pig could be so cute? But, and they are, if you get past the smell.
Yes. Yeah,
so,
that's true. That's true. And when they get to, they're piglets or the little pigs, right? But when they get to, are adult pigs still cute? Do you think? Yeah. See, I don't know about that. But little pigs,
I'm more partial to cattle myself.
There you go.
But anyway, but they still are. I mean, and the more trained they are, pigs are smart. So, it's interesting. I love it.
Good stuff. Well, Melanie, thanks so much for coming in today. Anything else this week?
No, we'll just see what another week brings.
Yeah, that's right.
It's York County. You never know.
That's right. It changes a lot, doesn't it?
It does.
All right. We'll talk to you next week.
All right.
Melanie.
Thank you.